we have Mae Muller here to talk about Eurovision and about how she feels being just 1 week away from all these rehearsals that will go on in Liverpool. So Mae, I suppose that you are very busy right now. How do you feel?
I'm very, very busy, but we're very excited. I feel like it just feels like the sort of last stretch now before, you know, the big night, and it's really exciting. I'm really looking forward to getting to Liverpool because we're going, we literally leave next week to go, and I think, you know, it just feels like all the hard work is about to pay off, and it's exciting for sure.
Okay, so at this time point, is there any particular aspect of your performance that you feel that you have to pay more attention to? Like, for instance, the choreography or the outfit or any other technical issue that worries you?
I think, I think first and foremost, it's, you know, as long as the vocal sounds good, and I feel like, you know, we are doing choreo too, but I think it's just finding that balance of not doing too much because then you don't want to be out of breath. But I think we've kind of been working that out, and we've got a really good balance now, and I think it's the perfect mix of like sassy and movement, but not too much, and it's gonna look great.
Right. So I know that you're not allowed to reveal anything, but how would you describe your staging or your performance?
I would say it's quite eye-catching, it's empowering, it's a lot of fun. I think it's gonna, you know, definitely get people, you know, up off their feet. Okay,
do you have any color that will dominate your staging? Like, for instance, Finland has green. Have you got anything like that, or is there going to be a mix of colors?
Yeah, it's gonna be a mix. You know, we're keeping it quite open, and I think we're just, you know, trying to have as much fun as we can with, you know, the colours and what we can do. Because I think with Eurovision, like, there's so much, you know, there is so much you can do. So I feel like we're just trying to make the most of that.
Okay, right. So in my mind, I feel that you have a huge task ahead because first, you are succeeding Sam Ryder. Second, you are performing for the UK, but on home ground. And third, you are going to close the big night. We are performing last on Saturday. So how do you cope with all that?
Yeah, I think obviously it's, you know, there is pressure there, but I think it's good pressure. And I think it's the sort of pressure that makes you want to work even harder. And I think it's really just a huge honour to be able to, you know, close the show while you're hosting. I think it feels like a very, very special, you know, thing to do. So I'm just trying to focus on, you know, those positives, and I think no matter what happens, I think we're all going to be having a great time on, you know, the 13th of May, and I really want everyone to sort of feel like they're there with me dancing.
Yeah, okay, so your secret for keeping your sanity is hard work, as I understand, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think hard work, but also knowing when to, you know, take some time and have a break. You know, I'm a big fan of, you know, just trying to switch off and just tuning into like your favourite show. So I think obviously it's a lot of hard work and long days, but I think it's important to give yourself that time of, do you know what, I'm actually going to do nothing for an hour, and I'm going to, you know, watch some Netflix, I'm going to read a bit of my book and, you know, just kind of switch off. I think that's just as important.
Yes, I think you're right. Have you got any special advice from Sam Ryder? Have you talked?
Yeah, he was really sweet. He sent me a nice message on Instagram and some voice notes, and he was just like, you know, you've just got to enjoy it. He goes, it's going to be such a whirlwind. Everyone is, you know, it's going to be so busy. So just try and take each day as it comes, because, you know, it's like the best experience ever. So just try and enjoy every step of the way.
Sweet, really sweet. So let's go back to the time that you were being selected for representing the UK. This secret selection process, I mean, it was insane. You had to keep quiet for 2 months. And I believe that you have only told your parents. How did you cope with that?
Oh my gosh, it was so hard. It was so hard because you know, usually when I get some good news or like I know something's coming, I love to like do I love like teasing and trying to make people guess, but I couldn't do any of that. So I had to really try my best to just keep it all hushed and watch, you know, the speculation go on the sidelines. But I think once, you know, you have the big reveal, it is kind of worth it, and it, you know, you can understand why it is like a big secret, because it adds, you know, adds to the journey, it adds to the story.
Really hard, really. So how was it? I mean, have you submitted your song, I Wrote a Song, to Top Music and BBC and was selected, or have they selected you first as an artist and then the song came second?
So I actually wrote the song before I knew that Eurovision was on the table, so literally like a few days before, and then I got a call from my management, and I think Eurovision had then heard the song, you know, through the grapevine, and they really liked it. So they kind of approached us and were like, you know, would maybe, you know, up for doing Eurovision, and I was like, is this like, of course, you know, I was like, I couldn't believe it. It was a bit of a shock to me, but the second you know, the conversation started happening, I was like, you know, I was in.
That's an interesting part of the story, really. I have a hypothetical question for you now, Mae. Let's just imagine that you are not singing I Wrote a Song in Eurovision, but you are still taking part. Which song of the given songs that are now taking part in Eurovision 23 would you choose, and which country would you represent?
Oh, that's a good question. I've never had that question before. I do love Taya and Selena, who is Edgar. I feel like it's so much fun. I feel like it's got the perfect mix of like really clever writing and lyrics, but then it's also got, you know, that chorus you can really sing along to. And I think they're really sweet and talented. So that would be a fun song to sing.
Okay, so I believe that this part of the song that also criticizes the music industry also suits you well, because you are always speaking your mind about things. So maybe it's that also.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all down for women speaking their minds and saying how they feel, you know. So yeah, definitely, that's definitely up my street.
So Mae Muller would sing Who the Hell is Edgar for Austria people, but what other songs are your favorites from this year's selection?
I love Blanca Paloma's, I love Lazara. I think her voice is everything and she just looks amazing. I think Noah Kyrell is like, her whole performance, I have a feeling, is just going to be so like solid and like polished and just great. And I love Cardia. I think, you know, he's like an amazing performer. And Victor, you know, with his, I think his song is really important. I think he speaks, you know, about mental health, and I feel like that's actually really powerful, especially coming from a man as well. I feel like not enough men feel like they're able to speak about their kind of struggles with their mental health. So I think that's actually really brave and like inspiring, that, you know, that's what, you know, that's kind of his song is leaning into. So I think he's amazing too.